10 days had passed since Hyeon-Woo defeated the divine spectral queen. He was invited to appear on a show called All About Hunters. The host was still amazed by what Hyeon-Woo had said during the previous press conference. Appearing calm and relaxed, Hyeon-Woo simply said he was just telling the truth. The host was even more impressed by his response and requested to play a video on the screen behind them. It was a clip from the last press conference where, during the final question, someone had asked Hyeon-Woo about the type of skill attributes he possessed. Hyeon-Woo casually answered that he didn't have any skill attributes. In fact, he didn't even have any normal skills. What he used was a martial art that he had developed inside the tower. The host then remarked that thanks to Hyeon-Woo, the once-forgotten martial arts community was starting to rise again. In one corner of the studio, two individuals were seated, apparently martial arts experts invited to give some insights. As they began showcasing their martial arts, Hyeon-Woo sensed they were just using his name for business purposes. Standing up, Hyeon-Woo said, "I think there's been a misunderstanding." He picked up a sword and continued, "Lately, a lot of people have been using my name and making all sorts of claims about me. Do you really think someone can become strong just by learning martial arts without knowing anything about it? The reason I'm strong is because I'm strong. In other words, martial arts aren't what made me powerful. I'll show you right now." As Hyeon-Woo got into his stance, he said, "Watch closely. This is how you properly use a sword." He remembered something he had once read in a web novel on his phone and decided to bring it to life. Hyeon-Woo swung his sword, using a technique he named Blue Dragon Ray. Instantly, a dragon formed from his aura, crashing into the ceiling and sending the audience into a panic. After the demonstration, Hyeon-Woo said, "All right, let's wrap this up. I'm the strong one, not you, so you'd better stop using my name so carelessly." After the show ended, Hyeon-Woo went home and saw Anya, who had changed her appearance so drastically that he almost didn't recognize her. Hyeon-Woo remarked that even though she used to be an S rank, he would treat her the same as always. Then, without another word, he walked off. In her thoughts, Anya reflected, "It's been 10 days since I started handling the accounting here at the guild. Honestly, it's not bad. Not too hard, no overtime. The pay is decent too, and I don't have to run around like before. But can I really live like this forever?" At the same time, over at Incheon Airport, the Aries Guild branch leader was preparing to travel, his destination, to seek help from guild domination in order to eliminate Hyeon-Woo. Hyeon-Woo had taken control of a dungeon that Aries Guild once monopolized, stripping the branch leader of his power. Now, he found himself in the same position as those he used to suppress. Even so, he couldn't back down. He didn't care about anything else. He just wanted Hyeon-Woo dead. Meanwhile, in New York, someone was giving a report to Martin Brand, the founding leader of Aries Guild. The report stated that the Korean branch had transferred control of several dungeons to other guilds. "From what we've investigated, it seems the Korean branch leader made a serious business error," the man reported. Martin responded, "People make mistakes. The word mistake is acceptable after the problem is resolved. That's when you can use it. But if someone reports to me without fixing it, I consider it a failure. And failures have no place in Aries Guild. You understand what I'm saying?" The man asked, "Would you like me to take care of it?" Martin replied, "Exactly. Handle it well. And while you're at it, take back the dungeons they lost. Eliminate anyone who failed." The scene shifted again. The Aries Guild branch leader had arrived at the headquarters of Guild Domination. He looked up at the building, momentarily hesitating as he realized he was about to ask for help from his longtime enemies. But he couldn't turn back now. He didn't care what it took, as long as he could destroy Hyeon-Woo. As he finally stepped into Guild Domination and was greeted by the guards, the Aries Guild branch leader smiled inwardly. "I'm going to destroy you, Hyeon-Woo." Standing before the door to the Guildmaster's office, he thought to himself, "This is where the leader of Guild Domination, known as the Imperial Dragon, resides." But when he actually entered, he was stunned to discover that the leader was a young woman. He bowed respectfully to Mi Ryong, the head of Guild Domination. Without any small talk, Mi Ryong said, "You've come here to ask Guild Domination for help in dealing with someone." Then she asked, "What's the name of the person?" The question caught him off guard. He had a gut feeling that he shouldn't mention the name, but at the same time, he knew returning empty-handed could cost him his position. Lowering his head, he replied, "You might know him. The hunter who defeated the divine spectral queen in Germany, Kim Hyeon-Woo." He continued, "If you succeed in taking him down, I'll offer you 20% of the dungeons controlled by Aries Guild in Korea, plus 80 billion won in cash." Mi Ryong raised an eyebrow. "So, that's really what you're saying? You want me to take down Kim Hyeon-Woo?" The branch leader, now sweating, responded nervously, "Yes?" Mi Ryong rose from her throne, her expression turning cold and her aura radiating intense pressure. "So, now you're asking me to take down my own master?" In that instant, a burst of energy exploded from her, shattering the roof of Guild Domination's headquarters. Trembling, the branch leader thought, "I came here to ask for help dealing with Kim Hyeon-Woo. But why is the guild master, who practically controls all of China, reacting like this? And did she just say master?" Trying to defuse the situation, he said, "Wait, there must be some misunderstanding. You just called him your master. If that's the case, may I ask, where did you meet him?" Mi Ryong answered calmly. Inside the tower. That made the branch leader think, I don't know why the Imperial Dragon Mi Ryong believes Kim Hyeon-Woo is her master. But if that's true, maybe I still have a way to survive this. He then asked, Are you Korean? Mi Ryong replied, No. The branch leader quickly followed up. Then there's a high chance that Kim Hyeon-Woo isn't your master. Mi Ryong tilted her head. What makes you say that? He explained, As you know, there are 158 towers in the world, each located in different regions. The tower in Korea only summons Koreans. The 15 towers in America summon people based on location. Since you live in China, there's no way you could have met Kim Hyeon-Woo, who was trapped inside the Korean tower for 12 years. Still emanating a powerful aura, Mi Ryong asked, That's all you wanted to say? With a flick of her hand, she sent him flying across the room. Then she continued, You're right. The towers are region-locked. But, unfortunately for you, I completed the tutorial tower in Korea. The branch leader's expression darkened. Mi Ryong went on, I hated it back then too. I only went to Korea because my father told me to. I ended up being forced into a tower, but in the end, it didn't matter, because I met my master. Still in denial, the branch leader said, But there's still no solid proof that the person you met in that tower was Kim Hyeon-Woo. Mi Ryong snapped, You're still trying to deny my master? Even though you clearly know nothing? Then you're denying me too, because who I am today was built because of him. This traditional outfit, my hair that reaches down to my waist, the symbol of my master tattooed on my back, and the name Mi Ryong. Everything about me exists because of him. What you're doing right now is denying me. Don't expect to die peacefully. You came here to take down my master, and now you're trying to deny both me and him just to save your own skin. Let me show you just how grave your sins are. The scene shifts to the AV room. The place now looked far more modern after Hyeon-Woo had completely remodeled it. There was even a television broadcasting footage from the outside world. AV looked genuinely happy with all the changes. She no longer had to sleep on a bench all the time. Then AV asked Hyeon-Woo to make her something, the newest PlayStation 5. Hyeon-Woo asked, What for? AV replied that she had seen it on TV once, and it looked really fun. She wanted to try it. Hyeon-Woo asked, Why can't you make it yourself? AV answered, I'm here as a system manager to assist the Guardian. I don't have the authority to create things myself. Hearing that, Hyeon-Woo pressed a button, and just like that, the latest PS5 appeared. AV was thrilled. She thanked Hyeon-Woo and hugged him. As AV wrapped her arms around him, Hyeon-Woo thought to himself, I'm not even married. So why does this feel like I have a child? Shortly after, AV said she had something she wanted to tell Hyeon-Woo. It might be nothing, she explained, but just in case, I feel like I should tell you. The scene then cuts to Sae-Hyun's apartment, where everyone was relaxing and eating fried chicken. Hyun-Woo found himself thinking about what AV had said, how there might be a climber currently on the 9th floor where Hyun-Woo was now. AV emphasized it was just a possibility, nothing confirmed. AV continued her explanation. Before Hyeon-Woo left the tower, 3 rifts had appeared. Normally, a rift would disappear once its boss was defeated, but 2 of the 3 rifts were still active. AV wasn't sure what it meant, but he warned that they should be on alert. As Hyeon-Woo became lost in thought, Seo-Kwan asked, When are you going to Germany? In 3 days, Hyeon-Woo replied. Turns out, his 3 friends wanted to tag along, for sightseeing. Hyeon-Woo pointed out that there had just been a rift incident there. Why go sightseeing in Germany of all places? Seo-Yong explained that they also planned to attend an auction taking place the day after Hyeon-Woo received his compensation in Germany. Hyeon-Woo asked, What kind of auction? Si-Hyun jumped in to explain. The auction was being hosted by the International Hunter Association. This time, it would be held in Germany. Even though Leipzig had been destroyed, the schedule hadn't changed. Hearing this, Hyun-Woo immediately realized they just wanted to tag along to use his teleportation circle instead of flying on a plane. Still, he allowed them to come. That made the 3 of them pretty happy. In his mind, Hyeon-Woo thought that while he was in Germany for the auction, he'd also try to investigate the climber AV mentioned. Since his authority didn't work on climbers, even if it was complicated, he had no choice but to track them down one by one. Besides, he had other matters to take care of. He needed to become even stronger. He felt that his 2 recent battles had made him much more powerful, but both enemies had only been mid-tier climbers. If a high-tier climber appeared, he had to be ready. 5 days later in Germany, at the venue for the International Hunter Association's auction, Hyeon-Woo and his 3 friends arrived. While the 3 of them were dressed formally and elegantly, Hyeon-Woo, of course, showed up in his usual tracksuit. Elsewhere, a subordinate, apparently the right-hand man of the Ares Guild branch leader, was seen burning documents. The branch leader's prolonged absence after visiting guild domination had begun to worry him. With no word or update, he decided to flee and destroy any remaining evidence. In his mind, he believed that HQ had simply planned to eliminate the branch leader all along, and as a mere subordinate, he felt he had no choice. Lost in thought, he was suddenly interrupted. Someone barged in and swiftly sliced off his hand. The attacker turned out to be a knight dispatched by Ares Guild headquarters. The number tattooed beneath his eye confirmed his identity. These knights were elite hunter-killers, directly under HQ's command. Once upon a time, they were top-tier fighters. S-rank hunters ranked within the global top 40. Wasting no time, the knight mercilessly finished off the branch leader's right-hand man. The scene shifts to Germany, where the auction was underway. As usual, Hyun-Woo looked completely unimpressed. Glancing over the auction item list, Seo Yong remarked, "There's nothing rated S+ this time." Sai-hyun responded, "S+ items are extremely rare." Hyun-Woo, overhearing them, thought back to the S+ item he obtained from a climber not long ago. However, something puzzled him. Despite being labeled S+, the item didn't seem to have any skills listed. He figured that even if he tried to sell it, it probably wouldn't fetch a high price. It was small, unusable as a weapon, and because of his low authority level, he couldn't even see the item's full details. That only made him more curious. Bored out of his mind during the dull auction, Hyun-Woo could barely stand to sit through it any longer. But then, a spear once belonging to Aslan appeared on the auction stage. Hyun-Woo attempted to examine its information, but again, due to his low authority status, he couldn't view the details. Frustrated, he finally decided to leave the auction. As soon as he stepped outside the auction venue, someone suddenly attacked him from behind. Caught off guard, Hyun-Woo narrowly dodged the surprise assault. The attackers revealed themselves to be knights sent by Ares' guild to eliminate him. One of them stated they were a group of 4 former S-rank hunters, all of whom had been in the top 40 rankings. Sick of hearing their self-important chatter, Hyun-Woo picked up a nearby stone and hurled it at the one who had just spoken. It hit dead on, knocking the man to the ground. "You guys are always the same, acting all tough when you don't even know how to fight," Hyun-Woo said mockingly, grabbing another stone from the ground. "I'll punish you with this," he added coldly. The 4 knights immediately panicked, fear flashing across their faces. Meanwhile, at Ares Guild headquarters, the leader casually asked a nearby staff member if the knights they had sent would be able to kill Hyun-Woo. The staff replied, "We're talking about someone who's prevented 2 major catastrophes." Hearing this, the guild leader simply smiled and said, "It's fine. I never expected those 4 knights to actually defeat him. This was just a test, to see how effective the artifact would be against Hyun-Woo. Besides that, I also wanted to confirm something else." In a dark room elsewhere, someone was reporting to a mysterious figure shrouded in a terrifying purple aura. "So far," the figure was told, 2 climbers have already been defeated by the guardian of the 9th floor. The ominous figure burst into laughter and clapped, clearly entertained by the thought of the 9th floor guardian eventually falling to the next climber. With curiosity, the figure asked, "Who's the next climber?" The subordinate replied, "Not yet determined." The figure grew impatient, frustrated by the delay, and whatever force seemed to be slowing things down. The scene cuts to a lounge at the auction house, where Hyun-Woo had just finished collecting a pile of loot after defeating the knights sent to kill him. He emptied the contents of the loot pouch and began examining each item using his authority status. Several items had strange names: Faker F173, Faker F151, Faker F12, and Faker F199. Although they were all S+ grade items, Hyun-Woo was puzzled. The repeated use of the name Faker, which literally means fake or imposter, made him suspicious. With growing doubts, Hyun-Woo guessed the items might be man-made, although he couldn't tell who created them. He began recalling what had happened earlier. The attackers from before had far more advanced skills than any hunters he'd faced. It was as if they knew his location in advance, and had been thoroughly prepared for the ambush. Hyun-Woo considered 2 possibilities. First, that they were clearly from Ari's guild. Second, he didn't really have any other known enemies, so there was no point considering other suspects. Even after thinking it over, he couldn't find a definite answer. The only thing clear was this: he had to find out who sent those attackers. He decided to look for the branch leader of Ares Guild. Fast forward, Hyun-Woo arrived at the Korean branch of Ares Guild. Without wasting time, he punched a staff member and demanded the branch leader's whereabouts. Terrified, the staff member knelt down and confessed that the branch leader had left 4 days ago for China, specifically Beijing. He also explained that the branch leader went there to meet with guild domination. The scene shifts to Sai-hyun's apartment, where Hyun-Woo and Sai-hyun were relaxing. Hyun-Woo asked, "Do you know anything about guild domination?" Sai-hyun, curious about why Hyun-Woo was asking, replied, "Guild domination? They've already taken over nearly every dungeon in China." Surprised, Hyun-Woo asked, "Didn't you say it was just 50% before? How could that happen so fast?" Sai-hyun explained, "It's not easy, of course. Unlike how you had to go through complicated processes to take over Ares Guild's dungeons, in China, dungeons can be forcibly claimed." Stunned, Hyun-Woo asked, "So that's how the laws work in China? Whoever's stronger wins?" Si-hyun elaborated, "It wasn't like that at first. This started around 3 or 4 years ago. There are rumors that the person behind the law, Change, is the leader of guild domination. After the law shifted, guild domination suddenly began expanding their influence rapidly. But," Sai-hyun added, "it's not something we can confirm for sure. It's still just a rumor." Knowing full well that the leader of guild domination used to be his student, Hyun-Woo began remembering the past. He recalled the final words he had spoken to his student when she was standing in front of the portal to exit the tower. Go on, my student, and even when you're out in the world, don't forget what I told you. There is no one stronger than you, except me. Everyone else must kneel beneath you. At the time, she had replied with something unusual, but Hyeon-Woo hadn't caught exactly what she said. Even now, the memory of that moment felt strange. Snapping out of it, Hyun-Woo stood up and said, I'm going. Si-hyun looked at him, surprised. So, suddenly, where are you going? To China, Hyun-Woo replied. To Beijing? That night, inside the Palace of Guild Domination in Beijing, Mi Ryong lay in bed, but her thoughts were haunted by memories from 4 years ago. Even though time had passed, her experiences in the tower remained vivid. That place had been a turning point in her life, a place where she realized that there were things money couldn't solve. It was there that she met her master, the one who taught her the meaning of genuine compassion, something she had never received from her father, a man who never even acknowledged her as his daughter. Her master taught her how to live independently in this world. Mi Ryong got out of bed, opened her window, and gazed up at the night sky. With determination in her voice, she whispered, Wait for me, master. I'll come find you. Soon. The next day in China, 2 knights from Ari's guild were discussing ways to kill Hyeon-Woo. They were hesitant. After all, he had already defeated 4 of their comrades. However, their primary mission in China wasn't Hyeon-Woo. It was to eliminate the Aries Guild's branch leader, Hyuk-Sun-Woo. As they were talking, a massive tremor shook the ground. One of the knights was slammed into the wall behind him. Before the other could react, he was suddenly attacked. Though he managed to block the strike, his sword shattered upon contact with the attacker's blade. The person attacking him was one of Mi Ryong's subordinates. The reason for this surprise attack? The knights had killed Cheon-Myung-Woo, Hyuk-Sun-Woo's right-hand man. According to protocol, only the leader of guild domination had the authority to execute Cheon-Myung-Woo. The scene shifts to Seo-Young's home, where Hyeon-Woo was waiting for a teleportation circle to be activated by Anya. Originally, Hyeon-Woo came to China with one goal, to kill Hyuk-Sun-Woo and return to Korea. But memories of the dark past, twisted and publicized by his first student, left a bitter taste in his mouth. As the teleportation circle activated, he stepped into it. When he opened his eyes, he was taken aback by the sight in front of him, the building belonging to guild domination. Its entrance bore a skull emblem, and above the doors was a plaque that read, Above you, only the sky. The sight disgusted Hyeon-Woo. Without hesitation, he leapt into the air, intending to destroy that plaque first, before taking out Hyuk-Sun-Woo, who was currently imprisoned inside guild domination. But before he could advance further, a wave of guild domination subordinates launched a simultaneous attack. Hyeon-Woo noticed that the techniques they used were ones he had personally taught his student. It left him baffled, but only for a moment. He quickly dropped into a martial arts stance, fully prepared to unleash everything he had mastered. In the blink of an eye, he vanished, then reappeared right in the middle of the attackers, effortlessly knocking them down one by one. After all the subordinates lay defeated, a voice called out, Master! Hyeon-Woo turned toward the sound. There stood Mi Ryong. The moment she laid eyes on him, she instantly recognized the martial arts form, the technique, and that all-too-familiar posture. But what she remembered most was the way his gaze always made her feel small. With trembling lips, she asked again, Master, is it really you? Hyeon-Woo closed his eyes for a moment, took a deep breath, and finally said, How have you been, my student? Mi Ryong had done everything for him. She changed laws, seized power, and rose to the top. Not for fame, not for glory, but for her master. Every title she earned along the way meant nothing to her. It was all for him. With the deepest respect, Mi Ryong knelt before Hyun-Woo and gave him a proper greeting, and thus, the leader of China's colossal guild domination, Imperial Dragon Mi Ryong, ranked 5th in the world, bowed in reverence to Hyun-Woo. As soon as Hyun-Woo entered the guild domination headquarters, Mi Ryong invited him to sit on the throne she had prepared for him. Hyun-Woo was stunned the moment he saw it. The entire throne was made of gold, and he thought it might be some kind of Chinese cultural artifact. Seeing his surprised expression, Mi Ryong misunderstood, thinking he didn't like the throne. Without hesitation, she said, I'll have the person who made it executed. Hyeon-Woo was even more shocked by her words and snapped, Stop with the nonsense, just be quiet, my student. Eventually, he took a seat on the throne, still impressed and slightly overwhelmed by how much money must have been poured into its creation. He then decided to check Mi Ryong's status window. The screen displayed her name, Mi Ryong, age 21, and incredibly powerful stats. But what caught his attention the most was her overwhelming loyalty, something that didn't surprise him, considering her attitude toward him. Then, Hyun-Woo asked, Is there someone named Hyuk-Sun-Woo? Without hesitation, Mi Ryong led him to the torture chamber, where Sun-Woo was writhing in agony. Seeing him in that state, Hyun-Woo asked, What happened to him? Mi Ryong explained that she had personally taken care of Sun-Woo because he dared to request Hyun-Woo's assassination. Hyun-Woo then casually stomped on Sun-Woo's head as if greeting him. Seeing Hyun-Woo standing before him, Sun-Woo screamed for help. Hyun-Woo replied, Fine, I'll help you, but you'll have to answer my questions truthfully. Sun-Woo hesitated. What questions? The first one, Hyeon-Woo said, tell me everything that happened in Germany. Meanwhile, in an underground bunker on the outskirts of New York, a secret meeting was underway among Ares Guild's top brass, including the central leader and several elite knights. The guild leader handed out a mission, with the reward being an SST plus class artifact. The room fell into stunned silence. That kind of item was enough to bring someone ranked 6th all the way back to the top. The knights were doubtful. No SST plus artifact had ever been seen before. Sensing their skepticism, the guild leader smirked and said, "You think I'm bluffing? You're right. SST plus class artifacts have never been revealed to the public, but now, I'll show you." Back at the headquarters of Goguryeo Guild, Seo Kwon, Seo Yong, and Si Hyun were gathered, discussing artifacts. Si Hyun asked, "When are we going back into the labyrinth to hunt for artifacts?" "I feel like I need to improve my abilities." Seo Kwon replied, "Our progress has stalled because we've been too focused on guild management." Their conversation quickly turned to Hyeon-Woo. Si Hyun muttered, "It's just, ever since Hyeon-Woo came back, I feel so small in comparison." Meanwhile, at guild domination, Hyeon-Woo discovered something troubling. The knights who had attacked him earlier weren't sent by Sun-Woo, but by the central leader of Ares Guild. He found a dropped item on one of the knights being held captive. Upon inspecting it, he saw that it was an ST plus class artifact, but underneath its name was the label, Faker F111. That's when it hit him. The person behind these fake artifacts was the leader of Ares Guild's central command. As he got ready to leave, Hyeon-Woo turned to Mi Ryong and said, "I'm going to take care of Ares Guild first. After that, we'll talk again." Hearing this, Mi Ryong immediately summoned her subordinates. With a terrifying, commanding aura, she issued a cold order. "Listen closely. From this moment on, if you find any member of Ares Guild in our territory, capture them and kill them all." This video ends here, but the story isn't over yet. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you won't miss the next part.